Hi guys, today I'm going to work a little bit more on the Rosewill case build. I think what we're going to do today is cut a spot out on the back of the motherboard tray to make it accessible for removing back plates from the CPU. So if we want to change the cooler out, we don't have to pull the whole motherboard out to do it. This does not have a removable tray, so it's not the easiest thing to switch CPU coolers on. And another thing I was thinking of doing while I'm got this open, this is an old socket 478 Pentium 4 board that I had laying around that I was looking at, and you know, you always see the heat spreaders and the CPU coolers on the top side of the CPU, but actually if you look at the circuitry on the back of the boards, see if I can flip this over for you here, all of the main circuitry for the board is running in and out of that CPU. This particular spot in the board ends up getting quite warm because of all the voltage going through it and all the activity in and out of the CPU cooler, or CPU itself, sorry. So what I was thinking is, since I'm cutting this out anyway, I think what we're going to do is mount a fan on the side cover, 120 millimeter fan, basically about the same size as the hole we're going to make here for the brackets anyway, and use that to intake air, blow air right on the back side of the motherboard here underneath the CPU to see if we can keep the socket cooler and see if we can actually drop the CPU temperatures down a little bit by adding some cooling behind the processor as well as the on top of it. So I'm going to pull this motherboard out, start marking it out, and get ready to cut the hole. Okay, we have our hole cut. Not exactly perfect. It's kind of hard to work your jigsaw around all these ridges and stuff without hitting everything in sight. But it's going to be good enough for what we need, and it's on the back of the motherboard, so I'm not going to worry too much about it being perfect. But one thing I did want to mention, a cheap alternative to buying V-channel, especially for something that you're not really going to see, but you want to get rid of sharp edges, anything that you could cut yourself or cut wires. So I'm just going to use some electrical tape and put about half of it on the outside here and then fold it over to cover all of our ridges to make sure we don't have any sharp spots where we can cut ourselves on. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it's going to look like. This is what it looks like with the tape on it now. Makes a nice edge about it. As you can see, I can rub my hand all over here without having to worry about cutting myself or fraying any wires, which is going to be real handy later if you do want to remove any backing plates from your motherboard or switch them. The last thing you want to do is cut your wrist or something on these sharp edges, but I think it comes out pretty good considering how cheap it is. You don't have to order the U-channel online for it and pay shipping and all that. 2 cents worth of electrical tape will do the same thing. Look pretty decent and certainly do the job we need to. But we're going to go ahead and put the motherboard in and see how this lines up with the backing plate for the CPU. Okay, well, I have to take the top hood scoop off here to get the top screw in behind that Blue Orb 2 cooler. It's impossible to get at unless I reach down right through the fan to line up the screw. But Jason had asked me, never give 7 before, for a closer look at the screen on the hood scoop, so I thought, well, while I have it out, I'll see if I can get a better shot of it. I can't seem to get a real good look at the thing here. Trying to show it with, well, show the light through it so you can kind of see how much airflow is in it, but it's tough to get a very good shot at it. But it's just a standard speaker grill screen. Okay, here's a shot of it with the motherboard itself in. These are our 4 mounting screws for the Blue Orb 2 cooler. Should be pretty easy to get at them now and be able to accommodate different motherboards. They're not all going to have the CPU exactly in the same spot, so with having a bigger region here. It makes it a little more universal for other boards, as well as different size backing plates. Like my Thermaltake water block one is actually a fairly good size backing plate, so it takes a pretty good spot to put that in. But just to show you how easily you can access them now. Just one more thing I wanted to mention before I put the side covers on. I didn't plan it this way, but actually I'm really glad it worked out this way. That these two pins here, these plastic pins, are actually the retainers for the North Bridge heatsink. So if a person was going water cooling and did want to put a water block on the North Bridge, you could easily pop these two plastic pins out and bolt on your water block for your North Bridge. So that was kind of an added bonus. I'm glad I made the hole big enough, and that's also something else to think about. If you're going to cut a hole like this into your case, you might want to look at where your North Bridge is. It was kind of hindsight, and I got lucky on this one, but just for a little heads up for somebody that's thinking of doing this project. Okay, we got the side cover fan installed. I ended up going with an 80mm instead of the 120 because the 120, putting it where I wanted to around the CPU, would have been getting too close to the edges here on the side cover, and I was afraid it would bend too easily or make it a little unstable anyway, and we didn't want to ruin the side cover with it. But that should work pretty good. It's going to move some air right onto the back of the motherboard, right underneath the CPU. So I'm going to pop this back on and run it, and we'll see what our temperatures do. Okay, we have it up and running. Fans are all working good. Just wanted to show you what the difference in temperature is since we added the top fans and that side fan to blow in on the motherboard. I know the Intel Pentium Ds are notorious for being hot processors. I don't know if you can make that out very well, but right now it's idling at about 30 degrees. So I'm pretty happy with that for the Intel Pentium D. We were idling up in the, I think, 51 range when it was in the original case. So our changes made a big difference, and I'm pretty happy with them results.